Welcome back to the more Sip2Tally Power Rankings. And I know we're a day late, but that's fine because life be life. But let's just fall right into our power rankings for week 5. Now we're going to start you off with 12 through 8, and I'll tell you about those teams, and then we'll get into our graphics for teams 8 through 1. So starting off with team number 12, the Baltimore Ravens. They've fallen 4 spots in my power rankings after losing to the Steelers on Sunday. I have them ranked at number 12. They're 3-2, coming off of a loss. Going up to number 11, the team the Ravens lost to, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-2. They're coming off a win. They moved up 4 spots in my rankings. They're at number 11. Number 10, Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts moved up 3 spots. They're coming off a win. They're ranked number 10th in my power rankings this week. And at spot number 9, the Dallas Cowboys, who were at one point number 1. They were at number 1 week 1 and week 2. They're all the way down to number 9 right now, coming off a debacle showing versus the San Francisco 49ers. But let's get into the other 8, and we have graphics for those 8 teams. Let's bring that in starting now. Coming in at number 8 on our list is the Jacksonville Jaguars, who pulled off an amazing win in London versus the Buffalo Bills Sunday. I think it was because they stayed over there all week and they were accustomed to the climate, didn't have to do all the travel. The Bills kind of came late, and they kind of helped the Jaguars be prepared totally for the game, and that helped them, be sound in their football, and they were able to pull out an impressive win over the Bills. So I got the Jaguars coming in at number 8, and they're 3-2 also. I'm checking my records to make sure. Yeah, they're 3-2 also. There we go. Coming in at number 7. Now, I never thought I'd have this team up here, but they just keep chugging along. They didn't play last week. They're coming off a bye, but Tampa Bay Buccaneers are sitting at 3-1. Sitting at 3-1 and coming off a bye week. You think they was in the tank for some kind of quarterback, but Buccaneers are showing up. They showing up, and we'll see what they get done this week. Coming off that bye week, and they got the rest of the season to prove that they're not tanking. They're making a run for the playoffs. Next up at number 6, another team coming off a bye. Seattle Seahawks. I was going to say 6-1, but they're not 6-1. They're 3-1. Geno's playing well. The defense is playing well. They got their safety back, Jamal Adams, back, but he only played like 4 plays before he went back out. So I'm sure after a week off, and he'll be out of concussion protocol, and they'll probably have him back, and they'll have their full complement of defensive players to go along with everything that they got offensively. And Geno's been playing solid football, so the Seattle Seahawks are ranked 6, and again, coming off a bye, so we'll see what they got. They've been able to self-scout and scout the other teams coming up on them, so we'll see what they got coming up in week 6 of the NFL. Team number 5, Detroit Lions. And again, my hate for the Detroit Lions just to be hating is over with. I'm going to give them their props every time they move up. And they had a big, well, I ain't going to say a big win, but they did what they were supposed to. They beat the Carolina Panthers 42-24, and good teams beat the teams they're supposed to. The Panthers hadn't won a game yet, so the Lions took care of business, and they've moved up 2 spots in the rankings up to number 5. They're in the top 5 spot. Probably should have been here sooner rather than later, but, I'll attest that to me hating, but my hating is going to stop. All right, let's move up to number 4. Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, they've won 4 in a row. They lost that first game. They've moved up 2 spots in the rankings from 6 to 4 from 6 to 4. So they're playing winning football. They're playing winning. They're doing whatever it takes to win. Their football has not looked like Kansas City Chiefs of old football, but they just keep stacking W's. They keep stacking W's. Again, they took that first week loss, but they've been stacking W's since then and they've looked different. All their dubs look different. They ain't just chunking it around the field. They running the ball. They special team stuff. They just doing it a bunch of different ways. But they keep stacking the W's. So right now I got them as my number 4 team in the most Sip2Tally power rankings. Team number 3. This team was number 1 for a week. The Bills knocked them off their pedestal. They got back to their winning ways last week when they beat up on the Giants 31-16. They've won one straight because of that loss. We could go to the Bills, but they beat the Giants last week, and they lost a budding star in A-Chain who's going to the IR, so he'll miss the next 4 games at least. But they got Mostert still there, and they still got the rest of those track guys there, so they should be okay. Tua's playing at an MVP type level. Tyreek is also, and Waddle's getting back into the fold. They picked up Claypool. I don't know how they're going to factor him in. Got Robbie Chosen, Braxton Berrios. They got a bunch of guys that, they just trying to factor in, and they got weapons, man. They got weapons, and McDaniel, is trying to find a way to use them all. They're better defensively, so the Dolphins are an extremely dangerous team, and I got them at number 3 on the more Sip2Tally power rankings. All right, got 2 undefeateds. Eagles at number 2. It's you can't really put a team above an undefeated team unless they just playing lights out. And so you obviously know who number 1 is if the Eagles are number 2. But the Eagles haven't looked kind of like I said about the Chiefs. The Eagles games haven't looked like they haven't been dominant, but they playing winning football. They winning their games. They've been dominant in a game or 2, but when nobody's beating them, you can't just drop them down. So I got them sitting at number 2 right now because until somebody beat them, I'm not gonna drop them down. The name of the game is to win football games. And as long as they 5-0, they're going to be up here around the top somewhere, sitting around the top. So, and again, the only team that has been just straight dominant pretty much every week is the 49ers. 49ers have been kicking butt and taking names like week 1, I think I had them at number 2 week 1. Let me check. Week 1, I had them at number 2. Week 2, I had them at number 2. Week 3, I had them at number 2. Last week, they bounced up to number 1. And this week, again, they're at number 1. That what they did to the Cowboys was absolutely nuts. They just straight dismantled the Cowboys, and I don't see anybody messing with the 49ers right now. They are playing at a whole nother level. And I rag on Purdy about, the players around him, making him look good. But Purdy is taking control of that offense. He has added to his game. And not only is he just not losing the games for him, he can go out there and actually maybe win a game or 2 now. He's not just the game manager. He can go get a game or 2 for him now. So he's stepping his game up to add to them playmakers that they already got on the team. So this is what I got for today. This is the more Sip2Tally power rankings for week 5.